Now, just to follow up on COVID fear-mongering, the ABC and Norman Swan. Now, Swan is the ABC's health reporter. He's been heavily promoted by the ABC throughout the pandemic. It's been his moment in the spotlight, and he's cashed in with books and podcasts and guest appearances, enough for him to modestly describe himself on his Twitter handle as Australia's most trusted doctor. I'd want a second opinion on that one, I reckon, because Swan has got lots wrong during the pandemic, with many of his predictions proving wildly erroneous and always to the alarmist side. Things have never turned out to be as disastrous as Swan's predicted. But this week we've focused on his latest and perhaps worst transgression, claiming COVID killed Shane Warne and Senator Kimberley Kitching.
My view is that it's too much of a coincidence that Shane Warne and the Labour senator in Victoria died not long after a COVID infection. And people are reporting sudden death after a COVID infection. It's not benign.
I showed you last night some of the reaction to this and why it was so badly wrong. Senator Kitching, for instance, had never even had COVID. But today we've heard more from Shane Warne's former manager, James Erskine. He's let rip, telling The Australian it's totally disrespectful to air it. It's just asinine. Erskine asked why anyone would take any notice of Swan. What on earth would he know about Shane's health? And then the killer line, maybe Norman Swan could tell us who really killed JFK. Yeah, someone needs to check that Zapruder film, see if a young Norman Swan was on the grassy knoll, eh? Now, the ABC has taken this seriously. They say Swan breached their editorial standards. But instead of getting him to apologise publicly, the public broadcaster got someone else to read it out on air.
Before we go, we just want to mention that Dr. Norman Swan has issued an apology after suggesting there may be a COVID link to the deaths of Labor Senator Kimberley Kitching and cricket great Shane Warne. Dr. Swan says he has personally apologised to Senator Kitching's husband yesterday and that he made an error that he regrets.
Now, the trouble is that apology shows neither Swan nor the ABC actually gets this issue. Yes, Swan needed to apologise to the Warne and Kitching families for stomping in on their private matters and their personal grief. But the main problem here for Swan and the ABC is the relentless fear-mongering. Here was Swan again spreading unnecessary alarm, frightening people about how COVID might kill you even after you've recovered. Swan and the ABC needed to apologise to the public and to their audiences for this fear-mongering. It's been Swan's trademark now for 2.5 years. It's made him famous. But it's high time the ABC forced him to dial it back. There are plenty of real experts. Peter Collignon, Catherine Bennett, Nick Coatsworth, Clay Gollidge. You know these experts because we talk to them here all the time. They have real expertise and real experience, and they communicate clearly, and they don't spread unnecessary hysteria. They spread facts. They're the doctors we can and should trust. And the national broadcaster would do well to interview them more often and give us less of their own Chicken Little of the medical world.